Hi, welcome to Atkins in the Kitchen. My name is Kent Altena, and this week's episode is in honor of Mother's Day. I'm going to be doing another Italian recipe, so come along with me as I cook up some eggplant lasagna low-carb style. So I have my oven already preheating at 400 degrees, and I'm going to be, we're going to be slicing up the eggplant into strips across the lengthwise. So I'm going to lop off the top, because that's nasty. Lop off the bottom because that's nasty, so I can have a pretty firm cooking surface. And now I'm going to just strip off start making lengthwise cuts down the eggplant. Alright, there may come a time in which it's easier or it gets to be unstable. At that point, you can just turn it on to its lengthwise and do the same thing in this plane. For these end pieces, you might want to cut off the very edge, just so it's not, you don't have one tough piece and the rest of them tender. Alright, and just continue down the rest of the eggplant. Basically, you're looking for roughly about a 1/4 inch thickness. So let me finish up the rest of the eggplant and I'll catch back up at that point. Alright, I'm just finishing up my last one. You can see that I got a pretty decent stack of, throw out my ends. I have a pretty decent stack of eggplant slices at this point. So I have about 3 to 4 tablespoons of coconut oil in here. I'm just using the cheap Walmart brand of Luana. So I put about 4 tablespoons of coconut oil in here. To this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Just stir. Okay, at this point we're going to just put our eggplant slices through here, and then we're going to layer them on our sheet pan. As I move everything so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I finished running the eggplant through the oil, the salt, and the pepper mixture. If you ran out of oil, you can feel free to douse them a little bit more with oil on top. And if you need to, you can also sprinkle some additional pepper on top. It will make it taste better. Alright, so I'm going to put them in the oven for about 25 minutes and rotate them halfway through. So come along with me and we'll start cooking up the other toppings. Alright, so in my pan I have 2 pounds of ground beef, I'm going to drain some of the excess fat on it and we'll catch back up at that point. Okay, so I drained off the excess fat off the ground beef. I'm going to put about, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt with the ground beef and approximately the same amount of black pepper. Alright, to the ground beef I'm going to add 1/2 small onion, and approximately 16 ounces of no sugar added marinara sauce. Alright, now we're going to let this cook for quite a while on a low heat. We have probably at least another 20 minutes left on the eggplant slices, so the onion should get tender at that point. Break up some of the larger pieces. Alright, turn this up to that low heat. Alright, catch back up in just a minute as we set up to make the cheese topping on it. So come along with me. Alright, so now we're going to make the cheese topping. I have some lower fat cream cheese in the microwave. I'm going to soften that for 15 seconds so it's easier to mix. To my bowl, I'm going to crack 2 eggs. Add 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan. Take cream cheese, put it in there. And I'm going to add about 6 ounces of mozzarella cheese. I'm going to beat this together. Alright, and now I'm going to finally add a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. Alright, one final mix. Alright, now it's just a waiting game on the eggplant noodles being finished up in the oven. So we'll catch back up in about 15 minutes and we'll combine the product and we'll finish it off. Alright, the timer just went off. Pull them out. Basically you're just looking for them to just start to get brown on there. You don't want them to get burnt. So let me pull out both of them. Alright. Looking good. Alright, at this point, we're going to start putting everything together. So let me get set up and I'll catch back up in just a second. Okay, so now that I have everything set up, let me start putting the dish together. Alright, the first layer is a layer of meat. So we're going to spread out a layer of meat on this bottom area. Alright, to that we're going to layer on some eggplant. And then on the next layer will be this layer of cheese. The whole point is that you just kind of want to spread it out. Alright, another layer of meat. Another layer of eggplant. If they fall apart, like this one did, just get the remnants and cover it up. And unless they're filming the video, they'll never know. Alright, one more layer of meat. Our final layer of eggplant. Sometimes the eggplant will stick to the tinfoil. Tinfoil is not good eat, so try to prevent that as much as possible. Bit of tinfoil in there. Alright. And now our final cheese mixture. Alright. Now, remember those 2 ounces of mozzarella cheese that I reserved? I'm going to put those on top. And give it a light dusting of grated Parmesan. I'm going to lower my oven down to 375 degrees, cook it for about 30 minutes, maybe up to 40 minutes to get the until the cheese on top is browned, and I'll show you the finished product. Thank you guys for watching, and to all the mothers watching, happy Mother's Day. Bye.